Hi, welcome to my channel, Zazaline. My name is Janeta, and in today's tutorial, we are going to be working on this pouch. It is vinyl combined with a fabric. That's how it looks on the side, on the other side, from the top. It is fully lined with extra pocket inside. So the pocket inside is also fully lined. There you go. So it serves as a divider between the two pockets. It can open quite wide, and it's a decent size. I think lots of things will fit in there. If you want, you can add a little strap and have it as a purse. I use the vinyl, but just a little note, if you are a beginner sewist, you probably want to do fabric on the outside and inside. If you have a domestic machine that doesn't like layers and layers of thick fabric, again, don't use the vinyl, just use the fabric. You need either walking foot industrial sewing machine for vinyl, or something a little stronger. It doesn't have to be walking foot, but at least industrial sewing machine for this vinyl. If you have a fabric, you're not gonna have that problem and you will be okay. But anyways, this is what we are going to be doing today. I hope you're going to enjoy today's tutorial. You can find this pattern on zazaline.com, and we will go step by step how to make it. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the future videos. I'm making a project every week, and usually or always I include pattern with my projects. So comment below, like it, hit the like button if you like it, and let's get started. So first, let's go over the things we will need. So obviously we need the pattern, and the pattern you can find on zazaline.com. We will need two zippers. They don't have to be the same color. You can choose any color you want. If you have your own tag, and these ones are optional. This is just for decoration. It didn't come with the pattern because it would be very hard to cut out. So you can use any design, any kind of decoration you want. You don't have to do any decoration at all if you don't want to. So some of the pieces call for interfacing. So on each pattern, I have how many exterior, lining, and interfacing. If you are using vinyl, like I'm using in my case, you don't need to do interfacing on lining. So in that case, you just need the exterior panel, you need lining, of course, you need the lining, and then I use only one interfacing because I am using vinyl. If you are using fabric, you want to use two interfacing twice because you will need it for the external panel and for the lining. If you are using vinyl, you don't need to do interfacing twice. You just do one for the lining. I hope it's clear. I'm using very light interfacing in this case because it's for lining, so I don't need the fabric to be too stiff. And you always want to look on both sides, and when you see the dots, the glue dots, they go towards the fabric, the wrong side of the fabric. So let's start with the inner pocket, and for that we need a panel seam. So we need two lining pieces with interfacing already on it, and I'm using vinyl. You can use whatever you want. If you are using fabric, you will need interfacing on the fabric too, otherwise it's going to be too flimsy. And then we need a zipper that we will cut out that is a little bit bigger than the actual pocket. So first thing, we will take the one piece, the vinyl facing up. We will take the zipper and we will place it down. So we are looking at the wrong side of the zipper. And let's match it up here. Okay. And then we will take our lining piece and we will put it the good side down. So we are looking at the interfacing. And we will clip it in place and take it to the machine. And we are gonna sew right on top. Now you can turn it the right way around and give it a press so it stays in place. So when you are pressing the vinyl, never go directly on the vinyl, and you don't want to keep the heat for too long, otherwise you're gonna burn the vinyl. You always use a piece of fabric and you just go very quickly, or ideally you go from the other side and you press on this side. The vinyl does not like the heel doesn't like the heat. Unfortunately, I learned my lesson. I burned few of them. So let's take it over to the sewing machine and we are gonna top stitch right here. So when this side is done, just so you can see the close-up, we will do the same process again. So we will place the other piece, we will put the zipper down and make sure you line them up, you line the pieces. And we will take the lining piece and place it on top. And again, make sure it's all nice and lined. We will clip the top, take it to the sewing machine, and we are gonna top stitch right here. Okay, so let's repeat the same process as we did before. We are gonna turn it out and we will take it to the iron, we will press it down, and then we will top stitch just the same way like we did on this other side. So this is what you should end up with. And now we are gonna put the vinyl pieces together, or the external panels together, and the lining together. And we will line them up on the bottom. Clip it. And let's take it to the sewing machine and we are gonna do just the bottom part right here. And then we will do the same thing on this part. So both pieces will be sewn on the bottom, only on the bottom for now. So we have sewn on both sides. Now make sure this end doesn't come off, and we will flip it around. We will flip it the right side out. And there we have our little pocket. So this is the inside pocket. Okay, so now we will flatten the bottom on both sides. And the same for this piece, the lining. So just open up the ends. Okay, and now we will put them flat like this. So let's put them together. And when they are nice and flat on the bottom, okay. Now let's go back to the sewing machine and we are gonna sew all the way across, right here and right here. Okay, so the inside pocket is done. So we can open it up. We have it nicely lined. So now what we can do, we can take the scissors and just trim this edge off. And I'm gonna do a little bit here. And the same on the other side. Okay, so we can put this on the side and we will work on the next piece. Okay, now we are gonna work on the main panel and we will start with the zipper, the top zipper. So these ones are kind of the top zipper panels that will hold the zipper together on the top, and it is the B panel. So they should be aligned. Again, if you are using vinyl, you don't need to use the interfacing. But if you are using just cotton, then interfacing is a must. So we are gonna prep the sides. So what we can do is, first of all, we will do the edges. One side, other side. Then we will do the midline. And then we will go back to the midline. And we will press again. Let's do that on both sides. And so what we want to end up with is a nice strap that has no raw edges. Okay, then we are gonna take the zipper end. Okay, so let's take our zipper and we will take the end and wrap it around so we can see, because each zipper is different length or different width, and we will press it down so we know how wide the zipper is. Now when we know how wide, we will do the midline. And then we will fold again. Lots of folding. The same on the other side. Fold again. Make sure the folds are equal size, because again we want to end up with this, and this is going to be the zipper end that's going to go right in here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I will cut this piece off because I don't want my machine to be sewing over the metal. my needle wouldn't like that. So let's cut this off. And what we are gonna do, we will turn it the right side down, and now we will line up the edges. You can open it up, line up the edges, and we will go to the machine, and we are just gonna sew where the fold is. So that's where you want to sew. Okay, so now once we do this, we will fold it back, fold it, and this is our midline that we prepped before. And this is what we should end up with. Now you can take something, let me take this, and let's try to tuck these edges under. It's a little tricky to do. If you can't do it, that's okay. You can just fold it like this, and you will top stitch along. You are gonna do a little square. But if you can tuck it under, it's just gonna look a little cleaner. I don't know if you can see. It's like wrapping a tiny little present. Okay. Okay, not too bad. And let's flip it one side, the other side. We will take it back to the machine, and we are gonna do a little square. Oh, not square, rectangle to be exact. We are gonna take all the pieces and we will put them together. So we have the zipper end, we have prepped these two sides of the zipper, and now we are gonna prep this side, this end of the zipper. So what we want to do is you want to pinch and put this on a side. So you want to have a 90-degree angle. Maybe instead of the pins, use, or the clips, use pins, because that's gonna hold it in place a little better. Okay, so when the ends are secured, now we will take one of the straps that we prepped before, and we are just gonna place it. We will wrap the zipper edge. So you will put it in like a sandwich. Okay, now we are gonna go to the sewing machine, and you will go from here to here. So you're gonna do a nice rectangle. You don't have to do it on this side, just right here. Okay, so once we do one side, we will repeat the same process on the other side. Once this piece is done, we are gonna put it on the side, and we are gonna bring the main panel, which is A, and we are doing exterior is, for me, I have the vinyl, and then we have the lining, and the lining has interfacing on it. So let's put these ones together. So let's start with the vinyl or external panel. We will take our zipper and we will place it down. So you have the zipper pull on the left side. Actually, before we do that, let's find the midline. And we can do a tiny, tiny little snip in the middle. Let's do it on both sides because we will need both sides. We are working on the shorter side. This one is the longer. We are working on the shorter. And a little snip, snip. So we know where the midline is. Now let's do midlines not from here, but from here. We need this midline, otherwise everything's gonna be off. And I don't really want to cut in the fabric, so I'm just gonna use my pen. And I'm gonna, did it mark? So again, we have the zipper, we will place it down. Now we have the midline here and midline here. We will line them up. Let's just use our clipper. Then we will take the lining. And now with the lining, you can do the midline, but let's just line it up on the sides. So along the edge, right here across. Make sure the tab, the zipper tab, is out of the way so you don't sew over it. You just want to sew up to here and then this out of the way. Okay. So we have sewn on top of the panel. We will flip it the right side out, and again, what we usually do, we will press it down and we are gonna top stitch right here. So once we top stitched, now we know where the zipper is. We can imagine how the back is gonna look like. So if you have your tag, now is a good time to put a tag in. So I'm gonna put my decoration in at the same time, and I want to put it somewhere in here. So let's just work on the tag first. I think my tag is gonna be on the top and the flowers on the bottom. I don't think this would look nice. No, they are gonna be on the bottom and the tag will be in the middle. So let's work on the tag first. So again, I'm gonna find a midline and I'm just gonna pinch it right here. That's the nice thing about vinyl. You pinch it, you see exactly where it is. And now we'll have to go from this side. So the midline is here. If you are not sure, just use your ruler, but I can see the midline. And I want to put it somewhere here. Okay, so I'm just gonna make my marks. Let's just measure to make sure. So let's say it's 5.5 from one edge and 5.5 from the other edge. Okay, good enough. And probably this height. gonna make tiny little holes. Okay. And I like to spread them apart. Some people put them inside. I just think they are more secure when when the little legs go out. Okay. Now let's make sure it's nice and straight. Yes, it looks nice and straight. And now I usually like to protect my lining, my fabric on the other side. So I will take a little piece of fleece and I'm just gonna, you can either glue it or I'm gonna press it down with my iron. So once I find the placement, I like to use temporary adhesive. So it's gonna be just glue for a few minutes. It's not gonna last too long, then it's gonna go away. Or you can use the double-sided tape. Um, so I like this placement. So let's just spray a little bit here. See, this is how it looks. And about here. And that way it's gonna stay. Do we want them to overlap? Maybe a little bit. Oh, that wasn't in the middle. Now it's in the middle. And I will put it a little bit higher up. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, here we go. Okay, now it's gonna stay in place for a little while. And I'm using, this is my hole puncher. There are different kinds, but this one works pretty well. You just need a little bit of muscles to go through all the layers. So you don't want to go through the lining. Lining goes away. And then let's find the middle. A hole is in. A hole is in. Okay, so the male is in. I pushed it through the hole. I have the female on this side. The female is the shorter one. So I don't know if you can see, this is the shorter one. So that's the female, that goes on the bottom. Now let's put this one in, and you want to hold it in place. You use all the muscles you have and you press down. And voila, it is done. Let's put this on the side. So we have the tag and we have a decoration done. You can put little hearts, you can do whatever. Or if you have embroidery machine, you can embroider something here. You can just leave it plain. Okay, so let's attach the other side. We will open up the zipper. We are looking on the other side. The vinyl is facing us, the good side. Now we will take the zipper and let's line up the midline and clip it. And we are going to repeat the exact process we did on the other side. Once we clip it, we will take the lining and we will secure it in place. Good sides are facing each other, And make sure you don't sew in the tab, so make sure it's not like this, it has to stay away. And we are gonna sew along the edge. Okay, once this is done, let's flip the whole thing around. The vinyl's gonna fight you. Okay, and then we are gonna do the same top stitching as we did on this side, we will do on this side. So if you want, you can go back to the iron and just press it down so it's easier to do the top stitching. Okay, so now let's turn it inside out so we see the lining on one side and the vinyl, the exterior fabric, on the outside, on the other side. But we are looking at the wrong sides, obviously. So now let's put these together. Zip up the zipper so you know it's nicely lined, just in case you have a little bit over like I do right here. Nothing happens, that's fine. And then let's clip it. Make sure these ones are aligned. Once we have everything clipped, we are gonna take a ruler and a pen, and we are gonna do the following. We will measure, and this is important, we are gonna measure 1.5 inch down, and we are gonna do 2 inches this way. So my 2 inches are here, 1, 2, and 1.5 inches are here. So this is what I'm gonna cut out. Let's do all 4 corners the same way. Once we have all 4 corners, we are gonna cut them out. Once we cut out the pieces, we will measure where we are gonna put the inside pocket, because that's gonna be attached to the lining. So let's take our measurement again, and we are gonna measure a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch here, and a 1/2 inch on this side. Okay, so this is the whole inch, this is 1/2 inch. So right here. Now, very important that you open up the inside zipper. So the inside zipper has to be open. This inside, so this we're gonna remove now. We will put it inside and we will see where the lining is. So we put it right here. You see, this is our mark, and that's where the bottom will go, the bottom of the pocket. And you will line it up here along the edge and clip it. What else? Clipping is all we do. There we go. And let's make sure it's all lined up. There. Now we are gonna go to the machine and we are gonna sew on this side. And you can actually do all the way here. Okay, so just right here, go across. Now, when one side is done, we will repeat the same on the other side. This time, it's going to be a little trickier because you want to pull the pocket to the edge. And it's going to fight you. Be strong. You're going to do it. Put the zipper tag out of the way so you don't sew it in place. And again, we will do the bottom where we have the mark. This is where the bottom of the pocket is gonna be. And clip it in place. So the tag out of the way. So the pocket is in like a sandwich in there. Okay. So it should look like this because obviously the pocket inside is smaller. Now when it's looking like this, we did it on both sides, the pocket is inside. We are gonna start, it doesn't really matter, but let's start on this side and we are gonna box them. So you're gonna just open it up. And guess what we are gonna do? We are gonna clip. Clip, clip. And we are gonna do the same on all four of them. Open it up. And anyway, so after you do all of them, you will go to the sewing machine and you are gonna, this one is broken, and you are gonna sew right here along the edge. And you can just go back and forth a few times, especially at the edges. So because we left the space open on the side, we are now gonna pull the back inside or the right side out. And it's gonna be a little tight because we have the pocket in there. And the pocket is made of vinyl, at least that's what I have. You might have something slightly different. Okay, that was quite a labor to flip it inside out. So now we have the little gap in here, so we have to close it. Ideally, you would want to use thread that is matching thread. I am lazy today. I'm not gonna do that, so I'm just gonna use the same thread that I was using here. But if you want to, this would look better if it's the same thread. Okay, so now we have few options. We can either leave it as it is, but I don't like this sticking out. So we want this push inside and do little notches. Not notches, we are not gonna cut anything, but we can sew a little bit here, a little bit here, and that way this part is gonna be inside and nobody's gonna see it. And we will do the same on the other side. I have decided, because I'm already using my rivets here, I'm gonna use my rivets on the sides. But if you don't have the machine for the rivets, or you don't have them at all, that's okay. You can just go ahead and sew a little bit here, a little bit here. So you push these sides in, right? So where this zipper ends, you push it in and you just put, or you sew a little bit here, a little bit here. I'm gonna go ahead and I will place the rivets. So we will need 1, 2, 3, 4 rivets. So again, you make a hole, your placement where you want the rivet to be. You take the male part, which is the longer, it has a longer stick on the other side. You will take the female, which has the shorter one. You put it inside, and take your machine, you place it in, and then you use all your power you have. And there we go. So if I was using just a fabric, I think I wouldn't be using my rivets, but because the vinyl is so stiff, I decided to use the rivets, and I think it looks better. So there we have it. That's our little pouch. So there we go. I put the rivets in on both sides. This is the back. This is how it looks on the one side, the other side. We have it fully lined. Very nice. I think it turned out pretty good. Thank you and see you next time.